base on, some direction. I'm looking for some direction, obviously, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that today, or I'm being hopeful. But there's a lot going on. I've had a lot of transition. The simple stuff I've got the answers to, as we both know. It's not about right or wrong. I'm looking for more insight for a balanced life, more insight to, and I'm not trying to say, should I go join the, Church of the Unity or, something like that. I'm looking for a little deeper than that. I don't know. I'm being open. I don't know. That's why I'm calling someone else, because I don't want to know. I don't want to use my head anymore. I don't want to use the brain that I've been using for 50 years. I'd like to hear it from somewhere else. That's my point in calling, I think.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because sometimes expectations are disappointing for people because they don't know what their expectations are, or their expectations finish up wrapped around unrealistic things, such as this idea of someone else being able to save your consciousness. But what I can do for you is teach you why you think the way you think and how you are influenced right now, so that you can have better choices, so that you can realize your situation in a different way.
Yeah, that's a good way to sum it up. I'm looking for the opportunity to trust my own intuition, and I just don't feel real balanced right now. I don't feel dialed in.
Yeah, and that's because there's a few planetary cycles that are going on for you right now that are causing a lot of internal conflict. These internal conflicts have to be resolved basically in the fall. So through all of the rest of July and August, you're going to feel in this funk that you're feeling.
Great.
So it's going to continue until probably late August and early September, that something comes, something gives, something transpires for you that opens up things, and you become a little bit more, as we say, focused and liberated, and also more opportunities come your way around that time.
Okay.
Right now, there's a bit of a funk in the sky. It's causing contradictions. It's causing things that maybe you're experiencing in a deep level, and it's supposed to be like that for a few more weeks. And once September comes around, that planetary influence is going to lift a little bit. So a couple things to be aware of during the cycle for you. It's very important to be careful when you're driving, to focus just on driving. Right now, matter is a little bit all over the place.
Okay.
And it's not there.
Somebody's moving. Did you move away from the area? Because I'm trying to sit in one spot, and all of a sudden I can't hear you as well.
Right.
Oh, there you are.
Now?
Now you're good. Ooh, that was good. Yeah, I just kind of lost you. Okay. So I'm going to stay where I am.
All right.
So you're saying, focus on driving. I did hear you. It was just that I doubt that it was recorded. It was pretty low.
Okay. Well, the thing is that you're not sitting still inside of yourself as well, right?
Probably not.
It's external. So, for example, being still is going to be very difficult for you for the next little while. I think that being still is probably the best remedy for you right now.
Yeah.
Your mind and your heart and your body is not still. And that's what this reading indicates, is that in this place of uncertainty and restlessness, there's going to be a moment in time where you will feel this tendency to disconnect from your body, disconnect from your consciousness, and then you will be prone to small little injuries and little accidents. So you have to be very careful right now to not be distracted when you are doing things like cooking, like mowing the lawn, doing things that have machinery involved, like vehicles. And it's because your consciousness is quite influenced right now by a planet that is in a turbulent burning situation, so fires can happen around you. If you're a smoker, you have to be very careful with your lighters and your cigars and your cigarettes. If you're not a smoker, then just be careful of having things that you're using heat with, like electrical equipment and cooking. So basically, the warning here is that there is this restlessness happening within you, but it's mirroring the restlessness that's happening in the sky right now. So it's a transit that you're going through that is really making you feel, kind of disconnected and out of body. Okay. And when you feel this way, in this place of disconnection and out of body, then what tends to happen is this restlessness becomes like you can panic and you can start going into a deep worry, and that is not going to help your situation at all.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. So there's definitely some, I'm used to being that way. So, okay, so that makes sense.
Well, yeah, it makes sense, but what are you going to do about it, right? So remember that nothing can change your situation unless you change your behavior. So, and this is a very important lesson for you in the next little while, because this idea of continuing to behave to yourself in the same way that you have been behaving is going to be what's going to cause these situations to feel the same, and no matter what you end up doing, it doesn't change. And so behavior has to change, and the first behavior is your relationship with yourself, and you've done a lot of work in this area already. And so the universe and the sky and the angels, the energies are telling you it's very, very important now to have this other kind of self-commitment, this self-evaluation, so that you can be free from these cycles that are a little bit self-destructive and that are a little bit self-punishing. So this idea of self-punishment has to stop. And sometimes we don't even recognize how we do this self-punishment, by our thoughts, by our actions, by our beliefs, however it is that we're doing it. So these are planets that will increase that type of self-behavior. And so when you have that kind of energy around you, it just makes you feel like frantic and chaotic and restless. And so when you're in that state, you go into a general desperation. And in that desperation, you will attract situations and people that are in a desperate situation. So everything becomes temporary. The jobs become temporary. The relationships become temporary. So the only place or the only way to sort of get out of that sort of tendency or energy is to find this grounding place and to find this centering place. And for you, living in this uncertainty is not working for you. And so that restlessness that one feels when there is a lot of uncertainty around us, we have to be aware. Some people can really handle it. And, I think what you're coming to is that you're getting tired of living on the survival edge.
Yeah, I am.
And so you don't know how to get out of that consciousness. And that's where that's the kind of help that you're going to need to do. And it's almost like you need to go through what we call like a deep brainwash. And it's like the saboteur, the part of us that wants to sabotage our successes and things, is going to get in the way right now, because it wants you to believe the lie that you're not worthy of love. It wants you to believe the lie that you're not enough. And that's where your soul consciousness has to wake up and take over here and say, wait a minute, I understand that, our past has been very strong and it has influenced our present moment. But today I choose to very much work on a different way of thinking life, about God, about everything. And so that takes a lot of retraining. It takes a lot of what we call self-analysis and constant, almost like a boot camp of consciousness, a boot camp of training the mind to think in a different way.
Well, then I'm ready for that. I mean, seriously, if I could be hypnotized or brainwashed to think differently, I would.
You need that right now.
Oh, I totally would, because I can't move beyond anything, and it gets heavier and heavier as the load goes year by year.
Exactly. So it's almost like that's why people get what's called shock therapy, just to kind of like shock them out of that thinking or shock yourself out of that way. So you need radical new paradigm shift. Your perception has to shift, and even that you're aware of it is not enough. So what does that mean? It means that right now, every day, you've got to like sit in front of your computer and listen to lecture after lecture after lecture by people like Carolyn Mead, Tony Robbins, these kinds of people that are like getting you out of your consciousness and sort of like letting yourself ride this kind of like motivational, inspirational, spiritual path right now, because and it's like you have to do this for yourself every day. It's right now you can't afford to go to these, workshops and lectures and all these things, but if you can find free ones, if you can find group things like that, then I would recommend it. It's almost like, and then this way, because you see, the planets indicate that you need to change your social circle.
I don't have one. My social circle is me, period.
Oh, so there you go. I mean, what's that saying? If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten.
Yeah.
And so that is because you don't have the right associations. And so I think that researching, seminars, free lectures, getting into all kinds of types of spiritual groups and things like that, not only are you going to help your mind get out of this funk of repetitive thinking, and because the overthinking that you're doing is not helping, and the association with others as well as just watching others, you will learn to have new contacts. Your planets right now are indicating that it's very important for you to be in the association of new people.
Yeah.
And it's very important that you take this time right now to find what those new people are. And new people, because you'll have a tendency, because you are in a bit of a hot, desperate energy right now, the new people that you may be attracting may feel not right until you start shifting your energy. So it's not necessarily about the people, it's about you getting out there and moving energy, okay? And so that's really, really, really important. So moving energy with it's almost like you have to align every single thought that you have into this idea of a goal. So right now the first goal is get the job. So the only way that you can do this is by expanding your contact list. You need to get new influences, new people, a new society, a new way of communicating, a new way of generating connections. Because when you have these new connections, you will be able to attract a different group of people that will help you, contact or become in contact with.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm bringing in right now. I'm actually talking to a company, and that's exactly what will happen if I end up getting this job, which is looking really good. I will be opening myself up to having to go out and be a part of the business community and the whole community. So there will be a lot more interaction socially, business-wise, and everything else. And I know that that's what I'm craving. I know that's what's coming in. So, and I have looked online at some things that I can do for, they have different types of spiritual workshops and seminars around here that I can go to. It's a very unique area for that, and it's very focused on that, so there's a lot of that around, which is nice. It's very spiritual. There's a lot of metaphysical. So there's a lot of, and I'm doing those things now. I'm there. What you're talking about is exactly where I am right now. I mean, that's what I'm trying to, that's what I've been, I mean, but that's what I do all the time. That's not unusual. It's like it's almost like feast or famine, and when I get really off kilter like I am now, I'm desperate, and I start grasping onto all those tools in my toolbox that I have, and that's the spiritual part, the wellness part, doing my angel cards at night, dropping on my knees before I go to bed. I mean, I do all the things that I have as a resource, but I never really feel like they're continuously with me in a space until I end up going through some sort of loss, and then I go back to that gravitating of, what you kind of mentioned, self-destructive, oh my God, sink or swim, fight or flight behavior.
Yeah. That behavior hasn't changed.
Right.
As you can see, when you go into that behavior, nothing good comes out of it.
No.
So, having all this knowledge and knowing all these things is great, and you will be able to shift a lot of energies and shift some things, but then the pattern will still continue, right?
Right.
You haven't gotten rid of
Right.
the actual pattern.
Right.
And so that's the challenge that you're going to have. So yeah, you'll get the job, you'll change your community, you will find a new person, all that, but then the same pattern will come up, the same issue will come up.
Right. That's what I need help with.
Yeah. Well, so let me explain to you that because of the time of birth, date of birth, and place of birth that you have, and I did 3 different time births. I did 12, 12:30, 1, and 1:30. Just because you have said that your time of birth is sort of in between 12 and 2, right?
Yeah, and I just couldn't, she can't pinpoint it. I've tried everywhere, but I know it's between those numbers somewhere, maybe, 243 at the latest. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're good. So your chart doesn't change.
Okay.
So you have, in Indian astrology, your ascendant is Scorpio. And when your ascendant is Scorpio, you are ruled by Mars. And Mars is sitting in your... And the 8th house has a lot to do with the occult. It also has a lot to do with chronic illness, the dark side of our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So Mars is a fighting, conflicting planet.
So
and right now in the sky, it's going through a bit of a heated war. And so right now, your internal nature, your dark side is going to be, wanting attention from you. It's going to try to defeat
right.
the things that you're doing for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be aware that that's part of your pattern, that Mars is your ruling planet. And Mars can give you both things, a very proactive, organized, very G.I. Jane kind of energy in survivor, but it can also be the self-indulgent addict, you see. So it can go either way because it's in the 8th house. And the 8th house has to do with addictions, it has to do with chronic illness and mental, emotional, dark blocks. But it also has to do with finding those answers and finding those healing modalities through the occult, through the esoteric world. So that's what you're doing right now. You're having an occult therapy, which is astrology.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in that 8th house, your Mars sits in Gemini, and it's associating with the moon. And the moon represents your emotional mind. And so your emotional mind is sitting in Gemini, which means that your mind is pretty fickle. So you change your mind quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you change your mind and your mind has an emotional roller coaster ride from anger to panic, and that vice versa, what happens is you drain your adrenal glands, and you're drained, and so your energy becomes drained. And when your energy becomes drained, you can't really attract the things that you want in your life.
Right.
So you need to keep a balance of your adrenal energy. And you can keep going, you can run marathons, you can do things with your physical body because Mars is the athlete, Mars is the soldier, and so your body the emotional mind can keep up.
Right.
Your emotional mind will have a tendency to feel left out, to feel like that you can't keep up with the physical demands of your ego structure, your ego body. So your desires are pretty intense. You want this, you want that, you want this, you want that, and that go-getting energy and that, keeping, it's like you're swimming in a big ocean. You're trying to keep floating and so that you don't sink.
Right.
And so it's a tremendous amount of strength physically for you. And so you're in that place of constant survivor. And so your emotional mind is having a little bit of difficulty stabilizing and keeping up. And the reason is because it's the emotional mind that goes, no, let's go here, no, let's do this, no, let's go here, no, we don't want that, no, I don't like this, no. And so what happens is that the warrior follows the emotional mind, because what a warrior does is it takes orders. And so a warrior likes to take orders, an athlete needs a coach. And so when you've got Moon and Mars together, you kind of can create a bit of a contradiction with the way that you work and the way that you behave. And so this kind of energy is really, really frustrating for you, and it creates a lot of internal heat.
Yeah.
Areas that you have to be careful of in your body is your reproductive organs. How is your physical health?
I think I'm okay. I'm 50, I'm going through the whole menopause. I'm having a lot of sweats at night, but I know it's just part of it. I know it could be worse, but I'm not trying to, I don't want to take a bunch of stuff, so I'm trying to just do it with natural black cohosh and menopausal formulas from herbs and stuff. I'm just trying not to have to take any kind of estrogen or progesterone or anything. So I know that I have noticed that not only emotionally, physically, and mentally, I can sense, I'm very in touch with my body, so I can sense what's happened since I quit having periods. It's been a year. There have been more sweats going on, but they don't last and they're not unbearable. I mean, I'm not pulling my clothes off in the middle of the living room or anything like that. It's uncomfortable. I don't sleep well, so I try to take something for that. Could I be in better shape health-wise? Absolutely. Mentally, it's, my mind mentally is much more active than I give it credit for.
Yeah, no, and I'm telling you right now, you need to sleep, you need to rest.
I have been. I've been really sleeping a lot. Like I stayed in bed till 10. I have no energy right now. I'm really listening to my body. I'm not working out a lot. And I'm just trying to lay low and but that laying low also gives me opportunities to, visit the head that's on my shoulders much more often.
Yeah.
And I've escaped it a few times. I was able to go out, but I actually prefer the presence of myself over most people because I can't deal with the craziness or the addictions or the insanity or the who they think they are or what they think. Most of that I can't really deal with. So I really favor getting lost in a movie or something senseless over, for instance, I'm trying to fill voids right now because I am in that fight or flight. So I'm being open. It's like say yes to the universe. You don't know. Don't prejudge. He could be a nice guy. Go at least have dinner. If nothing else, you get a nice dinner out of it. So I'm kind of being in that mode, but part of me's fighting that because it's like, oh, it's the same old crap,
Well, and it is, and your wisdom will know that, but that's one thing that you can start to trust and say, oh, there it is again, patterns, the same behavior. So do trust your instinct and your wisdom around the people, but that doesn't mean that you need to shut the people out. And also realize that this is a really good time right now to definitely go inward and definitely stay focused on your rest and your revitalization of your vitality, because if you don't, then this depletion is going to lead to more and more of the restlessness, because you're going to feel that, oh no, I haven't accomplished much, I haven't fixed my situation, I haven't secured my survival, and therefore what ends up happening is that your mind doesn't stay still, and therefore you can't rest. and it's a cycle of repetitive anxieties that can come up and frustrations that can come up for you. So it's really, really important to take this time right now and honor this inner tranquil space, and being alone may be a good thing right now for you so that you can recuperate your energy. You have been what is called your energetic levels and your energetic body has been influenced for many years now by the influence of other people. And so you are a bit of an energetic sponge. And you take the energies of other people and you make them your own. And you can't separate sometimes what's yours and what's other people's.
Yeah.
That's because you have this very watery kind of definition. Even though you're strong and you're tough and you've got a really, fiery body type, you're actually quite watery, which is very emotional. And
Yeah.
Water is like, people swim in your emotional water, and then your waters get contaminated.
Right.
You deal with this energy that you're trying to digest, and this energy of other people is not, it's not left your body.
Mm.
And so I think that, you need to go and do some cleansing rituals. So I'm going to give you some recipes to do right now, because I think that, I can talk to you until you're blue in the face, but your energy is not going to shift until we do some kinds of rituals. Now, if I was there, I would do them for you.
Oh, I wish you were here.
Yeah, but I'm not, and also, you don't have the budget right now to hire these other kinds of people that can do this for you, so I'm going to teach you what to do for yourself, okay? So this is sort of like, I'm going to save you hundreds of dollars here, because you can find people that can do this for you, but you're going to have to pay them, and right now you shouldn't put yourself through that stress.
No.
So I'll teach you how to do this, because I think, Julie, that you need to learn how to clean your aura on a daily basis and a weekly basis and a continuous basis for the rest of your life. So I think that just knowing this ritual, these recipes, are going to be very, very, very helpful. And these are things that you can continue doing, for the rest of your life. And so what I'm going to do is prescribe right now a ritual that is going to help you clean away some of the blockages that are occurring energetically in your esoteric, sort of ethereal space called the aura. And these energies are not all yours. So this is not all your energy. You need to take yourself to a body of water, which is, if you could find a lake or a river or the ocean.
I'm right on the ocean. I'm on the ocean, and there's also a mineral springs here, which is what I'm craving for right now, is just to go to the ocean tonight and watch the sunset.
Well, that's perfect. So this is the perfect time to do the ritual. Make sure you do the ritual before the sun sets. There has to be daylight.
Okay.
So you're going to take a bunch of flowers. So it could be white flowers. Buy those cheap little flowers, or pick flowers. So I don't know if you have a garden, or just a bunch of flowers.
Okay.
And or go to the store, grocery store, and buy those, carnations, those cheap ones.
Uh-huh.
And so what you want to do is grab a whole bunch of flowers. You want 7 pieces of fruit. Now make sure that they're not oranges or lemons or limes or things that have a hard peel, like a banana. Make sure there's peaches or strawberry or apple, pear, plum, these types of things. You want 7 pieces of fruit.
Without a hard layer.
Sorry?
Without a hard layer. Okay.
And make sure you 7 different pieces of fruit. I mean, if you have to double up because there's nothing available, that's fine. But try to make them as different as possible.
Okay.
And then you want to take yourself to, you want to wear light clothing, so no black. So if you could dress all in white, that's even better, or light colors. And you can have black shoes, but not physical black clothing. And what you want to do is take a good, select a really isolated space and sit by the water. And if you can burn a candle, that's great. If you can't for the wind, don't worry about it. Bring a few incense. And if you have sage or if you have a friend to burn, if you don't, that's fine. Just get incense sticks. Take about 7 of them. And what you're going to do first is you're going to sit by the water and you're going to ask the water, which is the divine body of the divine mother, to cleanse away all that is old and unnecessary within you. You want her to take away all the energetic blocks that you're feeling and speak to her. So you want to speak to her by saying divine mother or goddess of the water or whatever you want to call her. If it's the ocean, her name is Yemaya.
Spell it.
Y-E-M-A-Y-A. Y-E-M-A-Y-A.
Yemaya. Yemaya.
Yeah, so that's one name that you can call her. The other one is, you can use her Indian name, which is Lakshmi. And right now you need the energy of Lakshmi because Lakshmi brings prosperity and health. Yemaya also brings prosperity and health, but she also helps to heal her children.
Lakshmi, how do you spell Lakshmi?
L-A-X-S-H-M-I.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. L-A-X-S-H-M-I. Okay, Lakshmi. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different ways of spelling it, but that's usually the most common.
Okay.
So Lakshmi is, and you can Google these goddesses up, Yemaya and Lakshmi, and connect more to that, that energy that they have. And what they provide is they are known as the sustainers of this universe, and through the body of water, they help to heal their children, which is humanity. Yemaya is known as the mother of fish, the mother of the world, and Lakshmi is known as the goddess of prosperity and wealth and health. And she is the consort of Lord Vishnu, who is the sustainer of this universe. So going to these goddesses, or the energy of the water, if you have a personality, because, if you befriend the water as a deity, as a feminine spirit, as a goddess, then your honor and your respect will be more. And so it's very important to bring her an offering. So you want to select one of the most prettiest flowers as your offering to her. So you sit by the water and you say, Yemaya or Lakshmi, whatever one you resonate with, I am Julie, and I'm here before you to offer you this beautiful flower because I'm in need of your help and whatever words come to you. And so you want to start this dialogue and then start explaining to her, just like you would to a caring mother. You are going to start explaining to this water energy all that's going on with you and say, I'm going to clean myself before you, Mother, so that you can cleanse away my pain, my sorrow, my blocks, all the things that you want her to take away from you. And what you do is you start with the bunches of flowers, and you take a flower at a time, and you start brushing your body from the top of your head all the way down to your toes, and throw one of the flowers into the water. And you want to take every part of your body, clean every part of your body, always starting from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. So do the front part of your body, the sides of your body, and the back of your body, and take your time. And sometimes you'll feel heaviness, let's say around your belly, and you'll feel heat or heaviness. Take the flower and rub that flower in that area and then throw it away. So you have to connect with what you're doing energetically and feel the energy blocks in your body and then ask her to clean them away. Sometimes memories of the past, memories of situations come up, ask her to clean them away. Once you've cleaned yourself completely with the flowers, sit down and watch the flowers floating on the ocean. Throw them as far away from your body as you can, but watch them leave, watch them. Sometimes the flowers don't want to leave and they stay stuck to the riverbank or right on the beach. Walk away from that spot.
Okay.
And leave the path behind. Then take your fruit and start the same ritual with the fruit. If the water has taken the flowers, you can stay in the same spot. But if the water has brought the flowers back to the edge, you know that there's more blockages there. you want to ask her with a deeper begging, please, Mother, cleanse me further. So now you take the fruit, and take one fruit at a time, and start at the top of your head, cleaning the front of your face, front of your neck, the chest, the abdomen, the genitals, the legs, the feet, and throw it in. And do the same with the sides, do the same with your back, one fruit at a time, and throw it in. And as you're cleaning yourself, you want to say things like, please remove this, and I need this energy block removed. And you're concentrating on what the energy block is, and you're asking, you're begging, you're pleading with her to cleanse this away from you. Cry, scream, whatever comes out, do it.
God, I wish I could find a place quiet and solo enough. Solitude.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to do this at sunset with 4,000 people watching the sunset around me. It's like, I don't see that happening.
Well, then don't do it at sunset. Do it earlier in the day when no one's around.
Right. Yeah. I'll find that spot.
Yeah, it's important, right? So just be aware, where your mind went right now. Oh my God, I can't do this because blah, 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 for whatever reason, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to picture it, and I'm like, all these people, and which has been, yeah.
So, maybe drive to a different part.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm just like, I'll find something. Don't worry.
And then you want to sit for a few minutes after you've cleansed yourself with the flowers and the fruit. And I want you to take a little journal with you and just record all the things that have happened while you're cleansing yourself. So you'll notice sometimes there may be a dog that comes around you. There may be a bird. There may be some signs of nature. You may look on the ground and see all these dead crabs, or you may see a live crab, or you may find that nature is trying to communicate with you. And so just sit down and write all those omens and write all those things up, and then you can look them up online. And if let's say a dog comes up to you, you can Google dog medicine. If it's a hawk medicine. If it's a fox medicine. Whatever appears to you in nature, you can Google it and get more insights of what those messages are. And you'll learn to read the omens more and more. Then, once you sit down and observe your cleansing, you're going to ask her to further cleanse you now, and you're going to take the sage, or you're going to take the frankincense, or the incense sticks, whatever smoke that you're using. And again, right now, you've got to be careful with fire, so be careful not to burn your hair, things like that. And so you want to start cleansing your aura with the smoke. So again, you start from the top of your head, cleansing all the way to the front of your body, the sides of your body, the back of your body, from the head all the way to the toes. And then you can leave the incense in the ground burning while you sit there and meditate. And after you've asked her for cleansing, you wait and you listen and you ask her for revelation, ask her for those insights that you're really looking for. You really need the help of the goddesses right now. You need the help of the angels. You need the help of things that are higher. That's why I would say go to a church, go to a synagogue, go to a temple, go to a ashram, go somewhere where they're praying and they're doing healings and they're doing things that connect you with the vibrations of the divine. Because right now, your planets are indicating that you are in the divine's hands, and the divine definitely has a plan for you. And the more that you communicate with the divine at a very, very deep level, not just going, I sometimes pray, or sometimes I chant, or sometimes I meditate. No, it's like you got to get immersed, infused, and that's why I meant by give your life to a cause, because right now, by that energy of surrender, it will transform your life. You are in a place of deep octave shift where you're just about to shift out of a very dark place into a better place. So you want the help of it. So the cards, the ruins, the divination, this is the message for you. And I want you to just listen deeply.
Do you know what the card I keep pulling is, and I keep putting it back saying I don't want it?
Which one?
Fresh air.
Ah, interesting.
Isn't that weird? I've pulled it 3 nights in a row, and I'm like, okay, because I've been hibernating. I mean, I'm isolating in my house, which is not, it's dull. It's got air conditioning and there's no windows. It's not a lot of, air. And I haven't wanted to go to the beach, and I haven't wanted to go out because there's people. No matter where I go, there's no place that I'm solitude.
Yeah, Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, I'm like, okay, what do I need, what do I need, what do I need? And again, last night I pulled fresh air, and I'm like, God, you know? And I put it back in, saying that's, and then I kind of got mad at myself for doing that, because I'm like, who am I to, question it? And I pulled another one out, and it said time to go, which was one that I pulled about a year ago. That was when I made the decision to leave this last, individual and move here. And it's like, I'm still hanging on to that. I mean, obviously all of that is still there, and then all of the one from 10 years ago, and all of the one from 20 or 30 or 40. I was just recently contacted by somebody from 25 years ago. We're actually going to meet. This is the man that broke my heart. This is the man that I jumped all over the country for after I left him, because I was in shatters, and emotionally, how could he, And wow, here we are 25 years later connecting, and we're going to see each other, and it's really scary. And I'm thinking, I am no more emotionally balanced right now than I was when I left you at 25 years old.
Right. Well, and that's the case for you, right? The thing is, in your chart, your seventh house of partnerships and marriage and relationships is ruled by Taurus. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. And Venus is the princess. Venus is a planet that doesn't ever feel satisfied with her partners. So she will always look for something that's not right with her partners.
Right.
If you can understand this, if you can realize that this is going to be a pattern, then you shouldn't worry so much about your heart. You have to realize that how many times have you loved? Your heart has loved many times. That means that your heart is a reservoir of love. And that means that your heart has never been broken, because the heart can never break. It's the ego that breaks.
Right, the ego. That's what I should have said, yeah.
Yeah, and so your heart is going to go on. And if this doesn't work out with this person, there'll be a next person. Because one thing that you will always be sure of is, Julie, is that you will always attract someone in your life. It may not be right away when you want it, but you will always attract someone in your life. So it's part of your structure, your what we call your cosmic anatomy. Mm-hmm. And in your cosmic anatomy, you'll always attract a lover or a partner. So just be aware of that, and just say, okay, when I'm not attracting a lover or a partner, I have to be loved and befriend and indulge in a loving relationship with myself. And that's what the universe is trying to tell you right now. You can't even give yourself fresh air. So what kind of energy can you give a lover?
Right.
So you have to give yourself your prana, your energy. You've got to get yourself back in order to be able to give to anybody. You're waiting to be rescued.
Yeah.
Not rescued. And you've got to rescue yourself. And you want to be rescued because deep down inside that's what you were taught. You were taught this behavior. You were taught that this is what you have to do. And so, because you're a Scorpio influence or your ascendant is Scorpio in Indian astrology, and Scorpio is ruled by Mars, you think that you have to do everything on your own, but you're waiting in a cave, begging and praying to be rescued, because Mars is sitting with